Be me. Student living in Russia. Get accepted to study abroad in China on a student visa. Stoked as hell, packing bags and making plans. A few days before I leave, notice weird messages on Interpol inbox. Woman tells me she heard my prayers or something. Remember that I ran an Inari Discord server. She sends me real-life details about myself as well as pictures of some kind of Japanese garden. For the sake of it, better or not to stop replying. Day of departure. Arrive Moscow airport, ready to start new life. Get message from user of Discord server. Dude knows I am going to Beijing, never spoke about this once online BTW. He sends screenshot of something on his phone I think. I see text, photo outside of airport with FSB. Glance around and see man in suits. They see me, start walking toward me. Heart drops faster than ruble after sanction. Run from there, run through crowd like GTA mission. Barely make it through security. Plane take off, finally exhale. Months later in China. Life is not terrible. Some guy from my server DM me out of nowhere. Ask if I wish to buy, says I will need this. Sends pics of sketchy homemade firearms. I say no, block him, but many more people ask me same thing, say each other is trusted associate. Paranoia spikes, but brush it off. Fast forward to a few days ago. Police show up out nowhere. Get detained on the street, no explanation. Dragged into some dingy room, interrogated for hours. They ask of my intention, NATO, who I work for. Literally have no idea what they're talking about. Apparently someone told them I was a spy. Finally released, shaken but still alive. Been feeling cursed ever since. Start connecting dots in my head. FSB, the gun sellers, the spy thing. Suddenly remember Tomomo no Mae is connected to all this event. Convince myself she is behind it all, testing me. Be me. Eating olives. Not much of an olive guy, average olive consumer. Bite into an olive like a hamburger, leaving the middle exposed. It's red. You know what else is red? Blood. Go on to computer. Type in how are olives made. Shows a whole bunch of olive torture videos. Poor little olivites being pushed into olive slavery. Sit there in horror as I watch olive families be torn apart. Try to spread the word. Whole friend group and town knows. We all rally outside our local olive shop. All I remember after the rally finished was a big flash of light. Try and ask buddies about the olive raid. Mindless fuck tries to convince me that it never happened. Try and show the videos. They're all gone. Friend calls me crazy, then goes home, supposedly to eat more olives. Sit in disbelief as everyone I knew is back to the disgusting olive grind. Be careful guys, Big Olive is always watching. Been taking notes about my dreams on and off for several years. Here's a funny story about one dream that doesn't want to let go of me for some reason. Be me. Moved around a lot ever since I was 9. Must be on my 5th or 6th house by now. Have good memory for navigation, tend to remember a lot about the places I lived on. 0 to 2 lived in apartment and God knows where, can't remember anything I was a child. 3 to 9 lived in a big house in a rural European village. Parents had some kind of major problem with the other folks from that place. It actually got pretty bad and my mother lost her job. Details are murky, they did their best so I wouldn't know what was happening. Eventually we left. Be around 10. Start having weird dreams. Dream that I'm in a T-shaped street, pick related. The main street, or I guess the longest street, always leads me to some place new that doesn't exist and is nothing like anything I've seen before. It's like how some games try to generate content randomly but sometimes end up glitching out and creating nonsensical architecture and layouts. That's how it feels to go down the long street. Left street always leads to one of my previously old houses. It's never a clean copy, there's always something wrong. Sometimes the interior and exterior don't match, it's like my mind is trying to fuse all of the houses I've ever had into one. I recognize every single room inside of the house, they're all exact copies of rooms that I have seen and lived on IRL for years. Sometimes the outside of the house and the interior can be a flawless recreation of how the house actually looked like IRL, but the rooms look like they are from other houses. Pretty much never seen a fully accurate one-to-one recreation of a previous house that I lived on. There's always some distortion or a mix-match of different things from different houses. To my right, cursed places. Usually houses, but it could be stores, schools, or any kind of building really. Bump. Thank all for you who posted here. This shit is the only reasons I come to this place. Also. Be me. About 10:00. In car late at night on a single track road. Mum is driving and coming back from late night sports, like 10:100 p.m. cause sports center is miles away and a 40-minute drive. Looking out window and see we are passing a corner that I know like the back of my hand. Unique environment and very recognizable as it's the only corner on the entire drive that has a specific signpost and hedge. Driven this road many times so I know how close we are to home and what part in the journey we are at. Stare at footwall for 10 minutes or so, daydreaming if you will. Look up and see we are passing that exact same corner. WTF.jpg. Tell my mum, who confirms the exact same thing. WTF. I had been periodically looking at the clock so I know at least 10 minutes had passed since looking out the window again. The only way we would have been able to be passing the exact same corner again WQS, if we had found a passing bay, turned around, driven 10 minutes back and turned around again to pass it in the same direction. It's a road that goes in one direction with no possible way to loop round by accident in a side road. Mum says she was driving and not really paying attention to surroundings as it all looks pretty familiar and she had driven it plenty of times. Only to see us pass the exact same notably unique corner. Did we just time travel? I know it's not a skinwalker story. Sorry friends. Be me. Imaginative. The day of the rake. Her nails your back. Spicy time. Scratches and scratches. She's like a cat. They dig deep. Oh we. Wav. Be me. Movement on periphery, up to several times a day. Rare uncharacteristic rage against random people. Couple visual hallucinations. About a dozen intrusive thoughts centered around the idea of worshipping demon name, followed by inexplicable bliss to the point of tears. Recurring thoughts to offer it my blood. Given after a year and do the deed. Go to sleep afterwards and feel as if a cloud entered me. All paranormal shit stopped since then. It's been over a year and I haven't experienced anything. What was that? What awaits if anything?